Hello, my loves. Welcome to Soul Love. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Mafalda, and on this channel, I dive deep into the twin flame phenomenon and awakening. And in this video, I will be discussing telepathy and multidimensional communication between twins. So, first of all, let's look at what telepathy is. Telepathy is extrasensory communication and perception. So, communication and perception that go beyond our five senses and that surpass the logical mind. So, the usual avenues that we have for communication in a physical 3D world. And once we are activated onto this journey, and that happens upon soul recognition, we embark on an awakening journey and an ascension journey. And as we ascend, we are coming into having access to the higher dimensions. And in the fifth dimension, there is no time and no space, which literally means that there is no separation. And that's why you'll hear us talk about the illusion of separation. Hence, the journey. We are here to collapse that illusion, to realize that we are one. We are actually never separate from our twin, except it's not as easy as just intellectually understanding the concept. We must collapse all distortion and disentangle ourselves from all karmic imprints in order to allow those frequencies to reside within this human vessel so we can stabilize in the higher dimensions. So, because from the fifth dimension above, we are literally entering the quantum realm, and the quantum realm also pertains to the electromagnetic field that surrounds us and of which we are literally a part of. So there's no separation between us and the field. We are quantumly entangled, like I said, with our twin, and we are interconnected with everything. However, specifically with our twin, because we are one soul in the higher dimensions, and if you are a monadic twin, that will be in the 13th dimension and above, so into the anti-material worlds, and if you're a split soul, that will be lower in terms of dimensions. Once you're activated, once your soul recognizes itself, you will be continually and continuously pulled back into wholeness, into soul reunification. And so you will be pushed onto this ascension journey. And as you are ascending, you are unlocking access to these higher realms, to these higher dimensions where there is less density. Okay, so this 3D plane is the densest plane. It pertains to physical matter. And so as we rise, we're entering lighter realms, so lower in density. And I do know this is just a side note, but I do know that in some spiritual circles, people tend to refer to the higher realms as higher in density because the number goes up. So we're talking 5, 6, 7D, but actually it's the opposite way in physics, in when it comes to the physics of it, the science of it. But that's just a side note. Anyway, because they're less dense, there is less separation. And so as you are gaining access to these higher realms, you are also activating and unlocking your extrasensory perception and communication. So what does this look like in practice? This looks like feelings, thoughts, visions that you may be getting regarding your counterpart, that you may be experiencing through your own vessel, but that actually belong to your counterpart. Because like I was saying, we are quantumly entangled and there is actually no separation. This process, however, is not linear because, of course, we are still oscillating as we're progressing on the journey. We haven't necessarily locked in a baseline vibrational frequency in the 5D or above. And so this can go up and down, up and down. And this can also be very unique to each individual, to each pair of twins. It'll depend on so many different factors, including your unique soul blueprint and therefore your unique gift. So whether this is more about clairsentience or clairaudience or clairvoyance for you, or dream activity, for example, is going to depend on your uniqueness, the uniqueness of you and of your human vessel, and how your human vessel actually translates these higher vibrational frequencies into the 3D. And so we're literally bridging dimensions, and that's how telepathy happens. It happens because we are quantumly entangled, because we are one in the higher dimensions with our twin. And upon activation, upon soul recognition, that third energy field is activated. It literally comes online, and it comes online all at once. And that's why we have these feelings of bliss. And that's why we have this beautiful encounter when we first meet our twin, because it literally all comes online. And as it all comes online, it literally pushes out anything that's in the way of stabilizing those higher frequencies permanently in our human vessel. And so as you are progressing on the journey, you may notice that you are getting these downloads, these thoughts, these feelings that you're realizing is actually communication that's happening with your counterpart, with your other self. So this is not actually conscious in the sense that your twin is literally thinking that they will send you a message. You see, that's still separation consciousness. That's still thinking in time and space. This type of communication is unlocked when you're above that, and you may get glimpses of it because you haven't stabilized there. So you may access 5D frequencies, for example, and so get those pings, those downloads, those thoughts, experience the feelings that your counterpart is experiencing, or even through claircognizance, knowing what's going on with him, for example. And it also might even come through dreams, even songs or music that is communication between your higher selves, or of your unique higher self, your soul higher self, if you are a split soul. And so this type of communication can feel very real, but it can also trigger the mind into wanting to interpret, into wanting to define or label it, or even to attach onto it as confirmation that the journey is real. And that's where we get into a trickier terrain, because this journey is about surrender. So it is about surrendering to what comes and allowing for whatever type of communication that wants to surface to surface. And the reason why it might not happen for everybody is that we all have unique trauma, unique wounding, unique blockages that may be impeding, that may be stopping this communication, this type of communication from coming online. But as you ascend, you will get some form of communication. It's just important to bear in mind that you cannot look at this through the lens of the 3D, through the lens of the mind. So it's not about literally sending a message. It's about opening up to perception and communication that's beyond the 5 senses. So let me give you some examples. You may experience emotions and feelings that are not your own, that are your twins. You may experience multidimensional lovemaking, for example. You may experience dreams that are very real, visions of either the past or the future. Again, above the 5D, there's no time as well. So you're literally experiencing it all simultaneously. What else? You may hear their thoughts. You may also, like I said before, know what they're thinking. You can feel their touch sometimes because you are essentially merging as you're progressing, which is at the same time a process of remembering your wholeness, remembering that you are one. And it can be a beautiful process. The only thing to watch out for is to not try to force it, not try to cling to it, not want it as confirmation, but to allow it to come and to come into gratitude for those beautiful moments. And the more you surrender, the more these moments will come. And you might go through periods where it's not happening, or it might not even have happened for you yet on this journey. And so the focus is always on clearing distortion, exiting karmic loops, and healing from your wounds and trauma that are standing in the way from accessing these higher realms, where these gifts and this type of communication can flourish. It can bloom naturally for you, however it's meant to, on your specific journey for your specific soul path. So there's nothing to worry about. And if you are in doubt, if you are unsure of what you're experiencing, of course, you can always ask for divine guidance, or you can work with a coach, a healer, a guide that may help you ground and anchor whatever you're experiencing. And if it's not happening for you, it will likely be due to blockages, trauma, wounding, and that just means that you have inner work to do. And it'll be different for everybody. It truly is unique for everybody. What I can say is that as we elevate, as we raise our level of consciousness and awareness, we will get access to some form of psychic expansion. And since we are twins, and since we are one, and we are quantumly entangled, that will reflect in the third energy field. And I've spoken about the third energy field before in terms of what wants to be birthed through twins, soul children, business projects, creative projects. But the third energy field also means that there is a spiritual intelligence and wisdom that's coming online, and it'll naturally reflect in this type of telepathic communication. Because to be honest with you, all humans have that potential, not just twins, and especially with the moment that we're living on Earth right now as we are ascending, as Earth is moving into 5 to 6D frequencies, these possibilities are actually coming online for the human collective, not just for twins. Everybody carries that seed of potential within. It's our natural state. It's just that it's been buried beneath so much distortion and so much inversion that's happened on this planet. So I do hope that this has offered you some guidance, wisdom, insight into telepathic and multidimensional communication. I hope this is of service to you. Let me know if you resonate with this in the comments, if you have any questions, and also if you're in need of assistance on the journey, you know where to find me. All my details are below. I'd be so honored to assist you along this magnificent, glorious, and yet so challenging journey. And I still have my energy transmissions in the description below. These can be done at any time. However, since we are still in the 7/7 portal energies until tomorrow, July 11th, that's it. We are also in the current window of the full moon in Capricorn. So this is a very potent time to engage in any type of healing or activation. And that's available there if you're interested and if you want to take your expansion to the next level. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon in the next video. I send you all my love and so many blessings on your journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you.